Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to our another installment of our live stream panel at Florida State University. My name is Terrell Williams, Program Coordinator for Diversity and Outreach. I have a panelist of guests here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, and we're going to go more in depth about what we're talking about today.
Hey guys, my name is JJ. I'm a senior here studying psychology from Tampa, Florida, and some things I'm involved with on campus. I'm a university ambassador, as well as last year I was involved with, or last semester I was a FIG leader, and I was involved with the Honors College here.
Hey y'all, I'm Kara. I'm a senior from Sunrise, Florida, and I'm studying psychology. A couple things I'm involved with are the Presidential Scholars Program, the Honors Program, and the Undergraduate Research Opportunity Program.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a psychology and media communications major, a junior from Racine, Wisconsin, and I'm involved with FPRA Student Capital Chapter and the Psychology Risk Lab.
How y'all doing? My name is Julian Levy. I'm a third-year social work major from Coral Springs, Florida. A couple of programs I'm involved with would be Unconquered Scholars, Campus Recreation, and College Reach Out Program.
We have one more guest on the way over here, but I'll let him introduce himself once he gets in the room. So I'm starting with our first question. It's going to be a very basic question. Can you all talk about why you selected Florida State as your college of choice? Anybody can go first.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So for me, honestly, if I'm being transparent, I'm sure a lot of y'all are in the same boat. Money talks. So I came in through CARE as well. Once I got accepted, it pretty much made the decision for itself, knowing that I would have that help financially, because without it, being a first generation student of just like a certain SES, college just wasn't really in the cards for me unless I had that financial help. But I will say, once I've come here, I've come to learn to love FSU, just the culture that surrounds it and everything about the school. So yeah, initially it was the money, but I have come to love the school itself, like beyond the help I received from CARE, for sure.
I didn't want to go to school at home, so I definitely looked at colleges out of state. I have some family connections down in Florida, so I toured all over the state, and I really fell in love with the community here, the campus, and everything. It's absolutely beautiful, and that's why I chose FSU.
Yeah, and I thought that I was dead set on going out of state. I was like, let me get out of Florida. I'm from South Florida, so I was super ready to get out. And then I actually got to FSU and I was interviewing for the Presidential Scholars Program. I was completely lost on campus, but I got out and I saw all the leaves changing and it was gorgeous. And I said, well, this doesn't totally look like Florida. Maybe I'll consider it. But then in the midst of being lost, saw a couple people walking towards me, and I was with my mom, super embarrassed, said, do not ask them for directions, please don't. But any embarrassing moms just got to do it. So she asked, and they actually ended up walking us across campus, like half a mile where we needed to be. And I said, a campus with people in a community willing to actually help you out, that's the place I need to be. So I ended up here and I love it.
Yeah, it's a very friendly environment, I think, compared to other campuses when I visited, and that's something that really stuck out for me was the friendly atmosphere and environment, and I felt like I was actually a part of the university, and yeah, I feel like FSU does a really good job at making you feel like a student and not necessarily much like a statistic who's trying to improve. Like, I feel like all the faculty members here have really done their best to help me out, whether it be like secure an internship or like whatever it is relating to that, like personal issues, anything. Like, they're really there to help you strive and see you succeed, and that's something that I really like.
Cool. Well, we do have a question in our chat. It looks like somebody already answered the question in the chat. So I'll go to the second question. Like, how does CARE support their students financially after the summer term ends? So, Julie, you are a member of CARE. You've been in CARE for 3 years. Can you talk about that process of how CARE financially supports you or your own campus as well as off campus?
So I don't want to make y'all any promises that won't be kept. I know it does vary by your CARE class. So for me personally, I'm CARE 17, as Terrell said. I came in 3 years ago. But yeah, so for me, I've received through my merit, like through academics, I received like additional grants and things that CARE has gotten for me, but I know that it varies by the year. So I can't speak for y'all's class. I think it just depends on the funding the school gets like year by year.
And I can also add to that too. I know with the fall term, there's different CARE grants that students do receive. So, and CARE does, make a promise to students that they will never leave you hungry or homeless. So you will have a place to stay for the fall term if you choose not to live on campus for that particular fall term or spring. So CARE will make sure that you're financially secure for that fall and spring term, as well as with meal plans and things of that particular nature. Looks like we have another question. What are some requirements of care students, GPA, commitments, engagements, and those kind of things? It's kind of
So by semester, you will see. So for example, over the summer, your first summer, you'll have GBMs that you go to weekly. But then after the summer ends, like for your first year, I know first year students typically they have to go to, I believe, 3 GBMs over the course of each semester, fall and spring. And then you have like a financial literacy requirement, nothing too difficult. And then I know usually they want you to like meet with someone in your major, just have a meeting and then document that meeting, kind of like a reflection essay on it. But it's nothing too strenuous. Like everything is simple. You can do it. I mean, it only takes a couple hours, honestly, to complete all of them, besides the GBMs. But that's just literally going to an auditorium and sitting. So it's nothing too ridiculous. And then GPA wise, I believe if you get under I want to say if it's under a 2.5, you get on probation. And with that, you just have to do extra study hours, which y'all will see what that is over the summer. There's a care lab and you go there to get study hours. But it's nothing too strenuous.
What happened? This is actually more admissions question. So it says, will care remain in contact with students after their summer term? Yes, they will. So you actually be in care all 4 years while you're here at Florida State, as well as contact or resources during the summer. So you will have contact during the summer. So you will be introduced to the higher ups on our campus, like you'll meet deans as well as VPs. So you basically be invited to network during that particular time. So you will basically have all these resources at your fingertips. So just make sure you take advantage of all those particular resources. So somebody asked, what's a GBM or GBM?
Oh, general body meeting. I'm sorry. I'm always speaking in like lingo. General body meeting. So it's just like a big meeting. Y'all gather in an auditorium like room, and then you just sit, and it's basically just like announcements having to do with the program. Just kind of like a check-in meeting for all care students.
Looks like there's another question I can read right there. What if I don't know my major? Am I able to switch? Can care help me with that? So anybody can ask about the major question about changing your major or double majoring. And Julie, you can add about will care help them with that particular process.
Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of students struggle with is they have this pressure that they have to pick a major right when they come out of high school, but that's definitely not the case. On average, students do change their major a couple times throughout their 4 years here. And something that we have here at Florida State is our exploratory center of exploratory students. Got that right. And so basically you can do that up to your sophomore year. And they really help you assess like your interests, your skills, and how that applies to whatever major you're choosing. And I think, Kara, you're actually exploratory, so I'll let you talk a little bit more about that too.
Yeah, I started as an exploratory major. I like my entire life knew I wanted to be a doctor till I realized I'm kind of squeamish with blood, wasn't going to work out, had to start again. So choosing my major, when I met with my advisor, first thing I told him, I was like, listen, like I don't have like unlimited money or unlimited time to just spend here. I don't want to waste my time and money, but I have no idea what I want to do with my life. Can you help me figure out something? So your exploratory advisors, if you choose that major, that's kind of what we call our undecided students. So we can actually give them a chance to explore what majors we have here at FSU. So I met with my advisor and they helped me pick classes that were going to check off my general education, liberal arts requirements without wasting my time or money. And cool thing at the end of it, once you declare your major, they have a whole party called Pizza and a Major. So you go in, sign your name, you announce your major, and they give you pizza. So not a bad deal. Free food.
Definitely. Julie, did you want to chime in on the care helping them with their particular kind of?
I would say Kara pretty much covered the process. I was actually exploratory at a point too. So same things Kara said, they helped me out a lot. For me specifically, I would say my care involvement as far as deciding my major would just be the fact that one of my mentors on campus, her name is Mrs. Jackson. She's the director of a program called Unconquered Scholars that I mentioned earlier, which is housed under care. She has her master's in social work. So she kind of inspired me to like take that pathway, I would say, in a lot of ways. So I would say that was like my care involvement with like selecting my major.
We have some more care admissions questions. So do all care students take the same summer classes? No. So your classes will differ based on your particular major, but all care students are required to take their diversity and justice course over the summer. So that's the 1 credit hour class you will take, but the other 6 credit hours will be determined based on your major and how many credits you come in with AP or dual enrollment. And I have a question that's a predetermined question. Can you all talk about your experience living on campus? Because I know care students are required to live in the summertime. Can you all talk about your experience living on campus or off campus and basically what it's like to be an FSU student living on campus?
Yeah, so I lived in Dorman my freshman year. I had a great experience. I absolutely loved just being in the center of everything and feeling like I was really like on pulse with the student community. I loved my roommate, and I just really loved being able to like go to class, stop back, and like have that convenience. And yeah, it was really great.
I lived in Landis Hall my freshman year, which is like right in the center of our campus, right off our main green area, Landis Green. And I used to have, really early classes. Those 9:30s were rough. Doesn't sound rough, but it will be once you actually get here. But I had those 9:30 classes, and it was so cool. I would just wake up at like 9:23, brush my teeth, and get out the door, and I was at my class ready to go at 9:30. But just kind of nothing beats that convenience. And I ended up going random with my roommate. I was terrified. We met when we moved in, and we were still living together now in our senior year. So it was a really good experience for me.
Yeah, I think people get scared about random roommates and like not knowing, but honestly, like my roommate was also random, and I lived on campus for my first 2 years, and I enjoyed it. I think, yeah, the convenience of it, just like waking up and going straight to class is really nice. Like I love my off campus where I live now, but you have to think about the drive, waking up, parking, and then walking to class. So pros and cons, but we definitely at least recommended it for the first year. And my freshman year, I was part of a living learning community, or an LLC. So basically, I lived with people who had a similar interest, and it was a pre-health interest, and that was really cool. We like took one class together that basically we talked about pre-health opportunities on campus, and they really helped us out. So if that's something you're interested in, I think we have like 8 or 9 different LLCs. So that's something you can definitely look up more information on.
Do you have to be at the Tallahassee campus to be eligible for CARE? Yes, you do. So for the summer term, you are required to start during the summer bridge program on our main campus. You're required to be for that 7-week period. You will have a 3-week break, and then you come right back for the fall term and the spring term. Can CARE students select their roommates in the fall? Yes, you can. So tomorrow actually opens our housing for fall. So students will be eligible to basically pick where they want to stay, pick who they want to room with, and then roommate assignments will be given out in mid-March. So you'll be notified of basically who your roommates are during that particular time. So my recommendation is, if you know who you want your room with, know their FSU ID number, as well as where you all want to stay, because if you do not, your chances are going to be relatively lower of being roommates. We do have a new guest that just came in. We're going to let him introduce himself to everybody.
Hi everyone, how y'all doing? I'm Devondre Ponder. I'm a second-year student from Ocala, Florida. I went to Vanguard High School. I'm here majoring in business management.
Can you talk about some things you're involved in on campus?
Number one, I'm gonna talk about the program that I came through in the summer. So I came through in the CARE Summer Bridge program. Through that program, I got to meet a lot of other first-generation students, because it's different coming from a first-generation background, because you don't really know other people that went to college. Thankfully, I had my dad's friends like experience it as a student. Like my dad was an athlete. So it really helped me to, have the student background, buying books, discounted places, ask a friend if I can share books, things like that. So the CARE program definitely helped us provide that, find that community to, find people that you can talk to, find people you can relate to, study groups, just to initiate. And it going on campus with 40,000 students is better than coming in the summer. So it was an awesome program. I'm also involved in the Black Student Union. So I serve as the COBOL director, so the Coalition of Black Organizational Leaders. So basically I help map together different events for students to come out to that incorporates all the different sectionalities in the Black Student Union. And I'm also involved in the Student Alumni Association. So basically, with the bridge between alumni and students, we get taught about FSU traditions, customs, things that they did when the fountain is something that we all talk about no matter how old you are. And so that's something, Bullwinkle's gut boxes is something that we all talk about just in general. So, and they also just teach us different things, graduation, the toast, things like that, things that are good like that. So
cool. Appreciate it. So we have another question from the chat. So I think anybody can answer this question. Since we're not allowed to work for the 7 weeks we're in CARE, if we're entrepreneurs, do nails, hair, etc., are we still allowed to do that as college students? So anybody can answer that.
I can answer that. So it's funny you say that, because most students that come into college are entrepreneurs. Everyone has their lash business, selling hair, selling clothes, custom-made Florida State shirts. I know that's a big one for everyone. So you can still have your own side business. Having a job is more so if you want to come apply to Zaxby's or work in the mall. Right. It's not suggested.
Right. Cool. Anybody else want to answer that? Anything y'all do in your spare time that helps generate revenue in terms of like a hobby? something?
I wish I did.
Oh, anybody? No?
Oh,
You saying like during the summer?
Yeah,
in
or just
general?
period. Like, anything you do?
Just
Like,
working?
yeah, working.
Well,
Or-
I mean, me personally, technically right now I have 3 jobs.
Yeah.
So this last summer I served as an orientation leader. So that's like phasing out because they just selected a new team. I work in the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life as a receptionist. And then I also just started reffing intramural basketball. So I would suggest if you are going to find a job, there's so many jobs on campus. Try to do that first, especially if you don't have a car. I was just blessed enough a few weeks ago to purchase one, but it definitely is a lot more convenient if you try to find something on campus, just as far as being able to walk to work and things like that. But working after the care summer is definitely something that people do. For sure.
You're just not allowed for that 7-week period to work because we want you to focus on your studies and make sure you're starting off on the right foot. So someone asked, what is the move-in process for people that currently live outside of Tallahassee? When do I have to be there for the summer bridge program?
I don't want to spoil like the experience of your first care move-in because it's like a special day. Like, so I don't want to. I just feel like you're gonna have the help that you need. You're gonna have multiple people there that can answer any questions you may have and make sure that you and your family are good. We have translators, for people that speak Creole, Spanish, and even Patois for a lot of the students. So don't be nervous. Bring your family. Let them experience that with you.
Yeah, and the cool thing kind of about care move-in is like directly after you move in, you actually have your orientation session. So I got to be an orientation leader at 2 years ago now, so long, at the care session. And there's just like so much energy in the room because instead of all the students who are coming in and they haven't quite seen FSU yet and they might not be graduated yet, the care students are here and they're ready to go as Florida State Seminoles. So it's super cool. They get to come in and you get to know all the information you ever wanted to know about FSU right in those first couple days you move in. And being tired and cold at orientation kind of bonds y'all together. So you really start to get to know your care class.
And I'll answer the second part of that question. They asked like when you have to be here. So the care orientation is actually a week before you start classes. So in your particular email from care, it'll outline the dates you have to be here, as well as additional things you have to do before you enroll for the summer bridge program. Someone asked, how do we sign up for orientation? We aren't allowed to go through the regular website according to my FSU portal. So for care students, you actually don't register for orientation because the care department actually registers you all. So you don't have to do anything for that particular thing. So if you're worried about that, just know care will cover that for you. Somebody else asked, what courses will we be taking during the summer course or summer term? So they'll be taking college level classes. So you'll be taking up to 7 credit hours during that particular time, and they will vary depending on your major here at Florida State. Someone said, what if I don't know anyone in the program? Is there a questionnaire I can do that will match me with someone?
So I'll touch on that. So when I came in for my care summer, I was in that boat. I knew nobody, even though I'm from, a lot of people you'll see are from either it's going to be Jacksonville, Duval County, or Broward County. I'm from Broward County, but for some reason, well, part of it is because I took a gap year after I graduated. So that was part of it. I was a year older than all my peers, but I knew nobody in my care class. You'll meet people because, like Devondrick said, you're surrounded by people with similar backgrounds, similar interests, similar experiences. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's all people want is like someone, like people to relate to, especially coming in as like a minority, being a first generation student. So you'll have no problem making friends.
I'm from Ocala, Florida, and most people don't know anything about Ocala except horses. And I was the only person from my entire city. So it was, well, let me say that back. That's originally from my city. We have people that moved to Ocala, so it's like, but I didn't know anyone, and I feel like I'm great. So you'll be fine.
Cool. I have a question specifically for Emily, because I know you work in housing as an RA. Can you talk about that particular process of a student maybe wanting to become an RA? How does that process work? Because I know a lot of students do inquire about that and know with your particular experience, you can talk about it.
So I actually work in a housing office, but I know you can get in touch with Holly Proctor if you want to call the housing office and get more details. I just don't want to give like the wrong information. But I definitely give the housing office a call and we'll direct you to her. But I would speak with Holly Proctor about the whole recruitment, training, everything for the RA process. Yeah.
I know that it's not really a direct guarantee, but they have like the housing councils. So if you're interested in getting involved as an RA, they persuade you to get involved in your housing council so you can make decisions and have different programming for the hall. So that's a great way to get involved in that.
Cool. So someone asked, what are the care benefits after the summer?
Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of benefits, but
It's a whole lot of benefits.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk about what I was affected by. So because I didn't know anyone in the entire class, it definitely gave me those 5 to 10 people that I knew their names, they knew my name, we speak to each other. So it's like when I came to campus and it's 40,000 people, I had those familiar faces. So I feel like I'm going crazy because I did. That's how I thought it was gonna be. Because none of my friends that I knew were going first state were in the summer. So that was like a big pool. So you'll have that network of friends, and also you just have like a foundation. It's great to have like a firm foundation. You're gonna have that foundation of I'm gonna be a confident student. I'm going to be a successful student. I'm gonna graduate. I'm going to be involved. It gives you that foundation. You're gonna get the orientation leaders really do a good job. I'm not gonna lie. Florida State has some of the best orientation leaders. But they're gonna make you feel comfortable. You're gonna party with them, have fun with them. The scary story nights, like
Yeah,
things like
those
that.
tours.
So it's just like those kind of things. You're gonna feel like Florida State is where I need to be.
Oh, and then for me personally, Devondre pretty much covered it all. Just as far as having that foundation coming in, because having summer bridge is such a blessing, because I couldn't imagine if they had us come in just for fall when it's 40,000 students. Like the culture shock for some people is just a lot. And if you didn't have that foundation that's late in the summer, like he said, it'll drive you up a wall. But outside of that, I would just say overall, you'll get out of care what you put in as far as creating resources, staying connected with the center and things like that, because it's easy just to go through school and not talk to care after the summer ends, honestly. But if you want to stay connected and get everything out of care that care has to offer, I would say just make sure you're in there and just doing what you need to do as far as making connections and things like that. People in there are friendly, willing to talk, willing to help, but you can't help people that you don't know need help, you know what I'm saying?
So this is more of a general question. These are all admitted students to Florida State University, whether it's through care or through fall or summer. What do you wish you had known going into your first year? And that's for pretty much everybody.
I wish I would have known how getting involved really impacts like your college career. Like I think the first 2 years, like I kind of took like I'm just kind of more comfortable with the friend group I made my freshman year. But then after I got really involved, like becoming a university ambassador, even just getting more involved with the honors program and more clubs and organizations on campus, I felt like I was surrounded by like-minded people who had a lot of the same like similar mindsets that I did, and that's how I made some like really good friends. Like I got to know Kara really well through like our job, and I don't know, like we like both work on campus, and through that I feel like my school spirit increased tenfold. So not only did I meet a really good group of people, but my like school spirit just is like way over the roof now, and I'm just really grateful for the opportunity. So definitely like get involved as early as you can, get out of your comfort zone.
Mine, I have two things I really wish I knew. One, find a reusable water bottle that you love, because there's like refill stations everywhere, and you just can't be walking around with a plastic water bottle on this campus. People won't allow it. But then second thing is I wish I knew that all the events on campus, like everyone is welcome to. Like you can show up to anything on campus and go to it and eat. Like there's free food everywhere. Like you can eat it. Like it's for you too. You don't have to be part of something. You don't have to be part of like this friend group or know people there. Just show up, eat, and like you might meet some people while you're there.
I wish I would have known what like sense of independence the school would have given me. Like I truly feel like when I got on campus for my freshman year, like everything, like the world was my oyster. So definitely come in like knowing what you want to get out of your college experience, because it's like truly possible to do anything here, and also bring an umbrella.
Definitely for that summer term.
Keep it in your bag.
Yep.
And then you all want to add about what you wish you had known?
JJ pretty much covered it for me, just as far as realizing the impact getting involved can have. Because in high school, the only extracurricular thing I did was play basketball. I didn't join any honor societies and things like that. I know it's usually like opposite for a lot of y'all getting admitted. I know a lot of y'all are used to being class president, NHS, things like that. One thing I will say is when you come here, like we keep stressing about there being a lot more people, you're going to kind of have to focus in and find your niche and find 1-2 organizations, especially your first year when you're still getting your feet wet. Find those 1-2 things that you're very passionate about that bring you joy. Focus on those and then branch out from there. Because if you come in trying to do 5-6 things at once, you're just going to burn out. So
I would say know that you're going to be okay. A lot of the times you feel like if you make a mistake, life is over. You fail a test, you fail a class, oh, your life's gonna be over. And I had to get over that too, because I was not used to failing in high school, and I made hiccup one semester. So you have to pick yourself up and know that you're gonna be okay. And I know, especially for first generation students, everything you don't have to tell your families when it comes to coursework, because if it's gonna cause you more stress, you don't want that to negatively affect you. So be okay knowing that you're gonna be okay. You can try again.
And the piece of advice that I wish I known going into my first year was that it's a marathon and not a sprint. Like I thought, I had to do everything my freshman year, and like there's nothing else I can do after my freshman year. So just realize that if you don't get involved in freshman year, there's always your second year, there's always your third year, there's always your senior year. So you don't have to get involved right away. Just focus on your studies, because those GPA will determine most of the organization you get in anyway. So the higher your GPA, that more likelihood that you can basically become a president or NHS member or part of our Black Student Union or different things we have on our particular campus. So just know it's a marathon and not a sprint. So more questions are coming in the chat. Someone asks, where do students move after the Summer Bridge 7-week program? So I can answer it. Okay. So with the particular Summer Bridge program, you are required to live on campus during that 7 weeks. However, after that particular 7 weeks, you do have the option of living on campus. That's where that particular fall housing contract comes in this week. But if you don't want to live on campus, you're not required to. So there are different apartments in the area. Some are right across the street. Some are a half a mile away. Some are a mile away. It really depends on your, comfortability, as well as, pricing and different things of that particular nature. So you do have the option to live off campus, and there's a ton of options in this particular area too. So you don't have to live on campus for all 4 years if you choose not to. Someone asks, what is the best residence hall? That's more of a objective question, but I mean, you all live in different ones, so you can talk about the process.
I would say it's truly up to you. I have people calling the office like all the time and asking me like, how should I rank my housing preferences and stuff like that. It's truly what you're looking for. All of the residence halls have something different to offer. Most of the gen ed classes are going to be spread out, so there's no like particular location I would suggest. So yeah, it's truly what you're looking for. It's truly up to you.
Yeah, the way I would probably do it if I were to do it all over again is just to look at a map. If you like to go to the gym, live near the gym. If you like to throw the frisbee around or play kickball, live near Landis Green. If you like to eat, live near Swanee Dining Hall. Or there's also a dining hall west side of campus. Like live where you want to be, because they pretty much all look the same inside.
And another thing that housing does, they have like their 3D tours online, so you can see basically the layouts for each residence hall on our particular campus, the pricing, so you can basically see which one best fits you. So like she said, if you want to have something closer to the gym, you can have that particular residence hall, because it does show you a map of where our housing are located. Another question came in. Someone asked, how is the transportation at FSU if we don't have a car?
Yeah, so we're a pretty accessible campus. We're one of the most compact public universities in the state of Florida. So you can really get from corner to corner in like 20 to 25 minutes, which is something that I really liked. I actually didn't have my car my freshman year, and I honestly was perfectly fine. I always say like someone is gonna have a car, so like if you do need to go off campus, I'd always be like, hey, can I like go get groceries with you, or hey, can you like drive me to my haircut? I'll buy you coffee.
Right.
So we have a lot of good bus routes too. So the Seminole Express bus route goes throughout campus to nearby apartment complexes and even to some of our off-campus facilities. You even have access to the citywide bus, the Star Metro, and the Night Knoll, which runs from 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. So there's a lot of good transportation options, and we're a pretty walkable campus, and it's a really beautiful campus to walk. So that's something that I'm like, oh, walk it. Like, why not just go walk?
Also, my favorite part of transportation, we have this thing called the Safe Bus. It's this big white van that drives around campus. There's like a ton of them. And you can actually just call them. It's like 644-SAFE, or you can just flag them down, and they will pick you up any location on campus, take you to wherever you're trying to go across campus. So that's 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. too. So if you're studying late, you want to go grab a late night bite of food, but you don't want to walk back to your residence hall or wherever you're trying to go, they'll pick you up and bring you wherever.
You got something to add?
I was going to talk about
Okay, cool. And another thing for students that do have a car, can y'all talk about that process and how parking is here at Florida State? Because some people think, 40,000 students, I can find a parking spot somewhere, but it's really not like that. So can you talk about that process, as well as if they do bring their car, when is usually the best time to park on campus?
7:30 to 8 a.m. 11:30 to 12:15, and then like after 5. After 5, you can park. After 4:30, you can park at the faculty parking, And then, but if you're gonna park, don't try to park in Traditions. You're gonna be upset. If you're having a good day in the morning, don't go to Traditions if you try to find a parking spot. I would suggest Call Street or even parking on a stadium and catching the bus to class.
Yeah, I'll throw another app at y'all. So like I'm a procrastinator. I always end up like, oh no, I have 30 minutes to get to class. I'm not parking that time and walking to class. So we have this app, FSU Trans, and it'll tell you how many parking spaces are left in each garage. So I'm like, oh, well, not go in there, but I can go to a different garage and I know I'll be good to go. So saves me some time. Also, like mornings might suck sometimes, but you take morning classes, you have a parking spot. So.
And another thing that's why I think our bus system is so convenient is because they can flag down a bus stop and just get dropped off in front of their class. So that can save you gas money, that can save you maintenance on your car, as well as save you time and energy too, because the buses run every 15 minutes. So if you find a bus somewhere, you can get to your class on time rather than trying to find a parking spot. So those are different things that students can take advantage of.
There's also a Rider app, and if you get the Rider app, it'll show you like the closest bus stop to your class, so you'll know like which one to get off on, and it shows you literally every route around the city. So
as you all can tell, the FSU is very app friendly. So we have pretty much an app for everything. So when you get here, just download them. If you don't use them, remove them, but those will be helpful during your time here at Florida State. Someone asked another question. Does the FS4U questions apply to our high school experience? Because some of them seem college related. Are you all familiar with the FS4U scholarship system? Can you talk about that process and what does it really apply to?
Oh, I know. Okay.
I say yeah, I'm a bad.
But as a college student, I don't know what I would do if I was in their position.
Gotcha.
With the FSU4U, I don't think they can access it now. I think it's
so as an admitted student.
Okay, so basically, do it for what you think you're gonna do in college. So if you know you're a STEM person, of course the STEM scholarships are gonna. So answer the question if you're in college, not high school. And if you are still passionate about the things that you were passionate about in high school, still do it. Because not enough people apply to these scholarships, so take advantage of that.
And Carrie, can you talk about it from the college perspective?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, you get here and like you need money for things. There's there's study abroad opportunities that you want, just things that you want to be able to do, internships that you want to be able to do. I found an unpaid internship last summer, and I was like, well, if I'm my internship 40 hours a week, then I'm not going to be able to work a full-time job over the summer to pay rent and do all those things. So actually went on FS4U. It's new too, so I was super excited to see it, and went on there. If there are essays for things, a lot fewer people do them. So if there's an essay for it, take the time, write the essay, and your chances are so much higher to get it. So definitely check that out. And that goes for like scholarships in general, things on FS4U, and just like things you can Google. Like I have blue eyes, so I searched like blue eyes scholarships, and I got $100. So just like search things and write essays. Write essays.
Most people think those are myths, but those are real scholarships out there. Someone else asked, can you choose your roommate for the summer bridge program?
No.
So you can't choose your roommate for the summer bridge program. So are they randomly generated, or are they by major? Or
I'm pretty sure it's a randomly generated.
Okay. So you'll be with somebody in here during the summer term, and then in the fall, if you do the housing contract, it'll be based on your particular housing contract application. Cool. More questions are coming in. Someone asked, when filling out applications for the CARE checklist in regards to scholarships, which GPA do we put? You would put your high school weighted GPA. So that's the one on your particular high school transcript. So use that particular GPA when you're applying for scholarships. Cool.
Just also something to keep in mind, because I know we were talking about like, what do I write about if I'm, I'm just out of high school? When you get here and come to FSU, like you can apply for things. You can apply to, do positions in different organizations. You can apply to be part of things, apply to be an orientation leader if you think that looks fun. It was great. And it's okay if on your resume are your high school things. You're coming here to build those experiences. But until you have those experiences, you're not going to have any college things to put on your resume. So be okay that, you have these things that you built in high school. Those are important too.
Definitely. I see a question there. Someone asked, can they visit for spring break? Yes, you can. And if you do visit for spring break, you'll probably see Kara or JJ there because they are university ambassadors. So you can visit as a regular visit, and we do also have our accepted student visits that you can basically register for, and those are located on your application status check. So you will see, visit campus, and you basically select the date you want to come. So if you're available for spring break, we do encourage you to basically select the date that best fits your schedule, and then just come and see us at Florida State. We'll talk about your next steps in the process.
Come dressed in clothes you can sweat in, because it's going to be hot.
Yeah. And you may need to pack an umbrella just in case because it'll be springtime and you never know in Florida.
And
So
we'll
just
go
have an
anyways.
umbrella in the
Rain
car.
boots too.
Yeah.
It's like a river.
Just dress for all occasions here in Florida State. So I have a question while we're waiting for more questions to come in. Let's see. Can you describe the orientation programs for first generation? So like what goes into those for care as well as, the general orientation?
Can I hit first?
You got it.
Okay.
Unless you want me to go first.
Go first. You got it.
Oh, for care orientation
care
or
orientation.
normal orientation?
Care.
For care orientation, oh man, that was so long ago. So I know it's long. Expect to wake up early the whole summer, honestly, but the first week is rough because you're literally doing programming all day, like from sun up to sundown. But it's necessary, They definitely give you the insight that's needed to not feel like you're lost. Because like we keep saying, being first gen, there's just a lot of things, even logistically, that you just won't understand unless you go through that programming. But yeah, that's all I really remember is just that it's long. I can speak more to like the FSU orientation, but you could take that. Do you remember about the care orientation?
I mean, it's similar to your regular orientation. It's intertwined with your regular orientation. So basically, you're just going to get more familiar with other spaces that regular orientation doesn't hit on. Like you're gonna do more stuff in Black Student Union, or you may, go pay more attention to the integration statute because the care department does bring in more Black and brown people into the university. So it just highlights some more spaces on the university that are diversity and inclusion. So.
Yeah, so care orientation is a little bit different from the typical orientation process. So the typical orientation process is, I believe, 2 nights. So you would be staying in the residence hall, but for care orientation, you actually don't stay in like the orientation separate residence hall. So you don't need to bring anything separately because you'll be living in the residence hall that you already just moved into. And it's 2 days long. And the really cool thing about the care orientation is I believe it's free. Yes. Okay. So you don't have to pay any orientation fee for care orientation and you get to bring your entire family with you. So what I actually got to do when I worked care orientation is I was with the families. So I was with a lot of parents, but we also had kind of like a babysitting session for the kids. And that's my background. Like I used to work in a preschool before I got to college. So I was like, yes, this is where I'm at. So you can bring all your siblings, there's food. And I mean, I had a great time. There's a ton of information. So write down, absorb what you can, but also know the whole point of orientation is not to make you remember everything you've ever needed to know. It's to say, hey, kind of to put this in the back of your head, we have this. So if you encounter this problem while you're here, or if you need someone to help you like find a job or an internship or any of the resources, know that we have it and know that you can ask somebody to help you find it. So that's kind of the whole point. But it's a good time. Push yourself a little bit to meet some people, talk to some people, but it's exciting because you have the whole 7 weeks after that.
And orientation is really meant for you to get out of your comfort zone. So you may come in, you may be an introvert and you really don't like talking to people. Orientation is going to break that shit. So you're going to have to talk to somebody during that particular time. It's going to help you basically learn how to network and learn how to connect with people on different levels. So it's going to help you in the long run. So embrace it. Don't, just be in your shell the whole time because it's meant for you to be successful here at Florida State. Another question just came in the chat. What is your favorite college memory so far? Any student can answer that one.
I feel like it's hard to pick one.
Or if you have several, you can talk about several memories or.
The first thing that comes to mind is like my first football game because
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm from out of state, so I wasn't like familiar with the whole culture and just like coming to the first game and just being with all my classmates, being with all my, people that go to the same college as me. Like I just was so proud that I like moved and like finally made it, and I just felt like we were all such family in that stadium, and it was really amazing.
Yeah, I feel like freshman year, honestly, like as a whole, I feel like because coming, it's just like such a new experience. You have all these people who are with you in the same boat. So whether it be like the first football game, the first time you go to the dining hall with a big group of people and have like a big lunch or dinner together, just like small things like that. We have a movie theater. We're going to the movie theater for the first time. So it was just like such a great time because it's like you're like, as Emily was saying, like you're establishing like your independence at the university, and I feel like that's really true. Like, you're starting to learn more about yourself and where you want to develop yourself. So, yeah.
Anything you want to add?
I was in my involvement, so being SGA, Black Student Union, recently initiated to the IOTA, that's a chapter of Fraternity Incorporated. That was amazing. So my college experience has been lit. Great.
Anything you want to add, Julie? Just kind of.
Honestly, the first two that come to mind would just be like I said, I served as an orientation leader. Going on that retreat was a great experience. And then back in November of last November, I got to go to Washington, D.C. through Unconquered Scholars Program, and I got to advocate for college students who experience homelessness. So that was definitely super dope.
Yeah. My first 3 years here, every year except this last senior year, we've had a hurricane. So first year I went home. Second year I was like, nah, I'm just gonna stay here. So that second year with the hurricane, I had an apartment off campus. So I told like 20 of my friends to just come over. So we just had a hurricane party and they slept over for like 3 nights at my house. And I was like, I have friends now. This is cool. Like high school I had some, but none I would invite to sleep over for 3 nights. And we just like all ate out of cans, SpaghettiOs, ravioli, and like drank our water together. And it was a good time. And I was like, you know what? This is college and college is fun. So
as most of the students in care, they are Floridians, so they do understand what hurricane parties are.
yeah.
So you may, hopefully not, knock on wood, we don't experience any more hurricanes, but just in case you do, we would have, different things that you can be involved in, as well as different safety measures that we have in place as well. Yes, sir. Oh, if you want, yeah, you gotta go. So Julian has to leave. Julian, is reffing intramural sports today, so he has to head to a game. So you see him on campus.
Best of luck.
Give him a shout out.
I would also say with best memories, definitely take advantage. A lot of people partner with Florida State with taking people like on trips, different experiences, different leadership opportunities. I know we have Leadership, we have Peace Jam, but Peace Jam is on campus. I know through Scope, which is a trio program, they sent us to DC over spring break, and it was law school trip and grad school. So it was like a very great experience, to be in DC, never been that far, and just seeing Howard University, seeing the African American Smithsonian, the National African American Smithsonian, like that was amazing. So that was also a very great experience to be a student.
Cool. So we got some more questions coming in the chat. I think we answered this question already. What does CARE provide for students after the initial summer program? I think we pretty much answered that. So they basically provide you with resources. I know you have the CARE grant, and then basically those engagement opportunities on our campus as well.
I think that more so we also talk about CARE Lab, the importance of that. So basically, I'm not gonna say the requirements. That's something you have to decide.
Yeah.
So the CARE Lab is where we have computers, we have study rooms, first and second floor. The third floor is the CARE office. So basically on the first and second floor from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. it's really just CARE students, and, a lot of students in general, that identify with, the CARE department. And you study, you talk, you socialize, and that's literally where we call home. Like, if usually we text somebody, where you at? I'm in Daggett. Oh, you finna go to something neat? Oh, I go Chick-fil-A. So it's like Daggett is like, that's the center of like student life right now at Florida State, in my opinion. SGA is on the 4th floor right now while the union's down, so it offers a lot of people to have a home.
Someone asked, do we get to pick our classes for the summer?
No.
So CARE will actually pick your classes for the summer, as well as for students that are admitted for general admission. Your classes will be based on the number of credits you come in with, as well as your particular intended program. So your class will be picked for you in that particular regard. What makes the 7-week summer bridge program different from the summer term? It's really the same, but go in depth more. Like
the institution is the same. Institution is the same, but the CARE department is going to have different requirements. For you to complete while you're here in the summer. You'll learn that as you come for your CARE summer. It's something that we don't want to spoil your experience. So it's just but to be familiar with it, it's just you're gonna be advised, to go to a random GBM. Yeah, general body meeting. Like something you wouldn't usually go to. You're gonna have to, go to the Askew Student Life Center and see the movie theater. You can see the gaming center. So it's like usually as a summer student, like a lot of people have fun. They may not be, prone to go out, but like you'll have that group of people to go and see different parts of campus with. Like you're gonna have events in Tully, you'll have events in Leach. So you're like actively participating in the university. So that's the only difference. You're gonna be like, you're not forced, but you're encouraged. You're gonna feel the need to do that more.
Yeah, I think there's also one more that's super important. So you get actually someone who's called a CARE ambassador. So that's an undergraduate student just like us. And there's somebody that can be your first go-to on campus. So they're being paid to be your friend. So you might as well take them up on it. Yeah, exactly, right? And a lot of those students have been through the CARE program. So you can go to them, you can ask them questions. So all that stuff you heard at orientation that you were like, this is like first 2 days here, not really sure I want to remember it. They can be your first go-to because they have that knowledge and that experience here. And it's really important that you want to kind of find those throughout your entire undergraduate experience. So we have a program called Freshman Interest Groups, the FIG program as we call it. JJ and I both taught it. And basically you get an undergraduate teacher mentor that is there for you, teaches you how to study, teaches you how to college, and CARE kind of sets you up to start looking for those mentors and people to ask and call upon when you need help.
Yeah, care ambassador relationship, like I call my care ambassador to this day, and he's already graduated, he's moved on, but it's you really get that genuine connection with your care ambassador. So be excited for that and be receptive. You know, they're people just like you, so you know, give them so they can give you.
Definitely. So someone asked, are we paying for the summer and fall term for housing if we're in the CARE program? No. So for CARE, you are required to live on campus during the summer term. During the summer bridge program, all of your expenses are covered. So your tuition, your housing, your meals, your books, your insurance is covered by CARE. If you choose to live on campus in the fall and spring, you have to pay the $50 housing deposit, which becomes available tomorrow. So make sure you have to register for housing during that particular time, but you're not required to live on campus for fall and spring. If you don't stay on campus for fall and spring, you're not required to pay anything. So you're basically just completing your participation agreement, and then you're starting in the summer term, and then you basically have to find housing for that particular fall and spring semester. Did anyone want to add anything else to the housing component? Cool. So I have a more frequently asked question that I receive that I'm pretty sure you all can answer as well. Some students ask, like, is it true that I will be able to attend the university for free if I'm admitted through the CARE Summer Bridge program?
No, that's not true.
Right. So most people think that CARE is like a scholarship rather than actual department on campus. So can you talk about like what CARE offers in terms of financials, as well as the debunking the myth like CARE covers everything?
We definitely need like a FA frequently asked question on the CARE website. That's something we need to definitely put on there, because you have to understand you're literally getting admitted into, like you said, a department. The department has the resources for you to be taken care of while you're here on campus. Like we have Scope, we have STEM for the STEM students, Scope is for non-STEM students. We have Unconquered Scholars for the students that, you know, like you mentioned earlier, face homelessness, death of a parent or of a guardian, things like that. So like these programs, they're there to help you, like life coaching. That's what's going to help you be able to adjust and stay on this university, but it's not like a scholarship where, hey, you know, you just won this pot of money. No, right. You won the opportunity to be able to have that help that you are going to need as a first generation student.
Definitely. So we do get that question a lot. Most people have heard from like previous CARE classes of what they received, and they think they're guaranteed that amount. No. But it differs each year based on our particular classes, as well as the funding that we receive for CARE. So CARE, I know this year the grant is about $2,500 per year. So students will receive that as part of their CARE grant. But then the additional FAFSA information that you completed will be factored in as well. So the Pell Grant, FSU grant. So those things will be factored into your particular financial aid offer. So you'll get an award letter basically outlining how much money you receive for school and how much Florida State costs. And then CARE does a great job, as well as the university does a great job of doing financial literacy and letting students know, hey, you may have to get a smaller meal plan, or you may need to move in this residential hall because it's a little bit cheaper in your pockets, or you may need to do work study, or you may need to do something to basically help you cover your cost of attendance. So don't fret if your particular amount, isn't what you think it is, because there's ways you can basically decrease your particular amount financially, because we do have financial literacy classes on our particular campus.
And also still apply to scholarships. I know a lot of students from those bigger areas, Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville, like since they've heard the stories, they feel like they don't have to apply to the scholarships, and that is not the case. Get as many scholarships as you can. Like it's free money. Do the essay.
Right. And speaking of money, for students that are in CARE, you can still use your Bright Futures. So if you qualify for Bright Futures, you can use that at Florida
and
State
take stock,
as well as Florida Prepaid. So there's different ways you can use that particular funding for school. So don't be afraid to ask those questions about, if I have Bright Futures, can I still use it? Yes, you can. So those scholarships will help you in the long run. Then the CARE as well as financial aid will be additional money on top of that. So that will help you in the long run. So we're getting down to our last 10 minutes. So we're waiting for more questions to come in the chat. So another question I would have for you all, it's kind of tied into the question we asked earlier about what you wish you had known differently. Is there any piece of advice you will give an incoming student on, what Florida State is like and what to prepare for. They can prepare really. So just basically giving them a piece of advice, like a small piece of advice or a large piece of advice.
I just want to emphasize, like, personally, just getting involved. Like,
Mhm.
even if there's one club or something that interests you, like, just go to the meeting and check it out. It doesn't hurt to,
Mhm.
just go and try new things and experience and put yourself out there, because it can help you find that home away from home and that, like, small group of people that you can always go to and turn to.
I would say don't compare yourself to anyone except for yourself. You're going to see other students that may come in. Like, I came in with dual enrollment credits. I had students that came in with AAs. There are students that came in with nothing.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we're still at the same institution. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare your GPA. Don't compare your involvement. Like, you are yourself. You're your only competitor. So that's the only thing I would say.
Yeah, kind of playing off what you said earlier, like it's okay to not be okay either. Like it can be really overwhelming at the beginning. Like you are transitioning from being really comfortable at home. You've probably been there for a couple of years or so. You know the people you're surrounded with, whether it be a bigger high school or smaller high school. Like FSU is pretty big and it can be really overwhelming. There's a lot of resources, a lot of things. So just realizing like it's okay to take a second, take a deep breath. We have free counseling services here at our university and a lot of other resources as well to take advantage of. So kind of just realizing just take a deep breath when you need to, and you're not the only one in those shoes.
And not only like the university wise, Tallahassee has a lot of things to offer. So like explore Tallahassee, explore FAMU, explore TCC. Like we have a whole university less than a mile away. Go to their football games, experience their step shows, experience that culture. It's very important. It's very enriched. They're the number one, HBCU in the country. So, definitely, take advantage of that university and TCC, Wakulla Springs, Mission St. Louis. Like, it's things to do. So get involved in not only your university, but in the city.
Yeah, and when that homesickness does hit, like do things like that. Go explore, but also don't go home. That's another big thing.
Call
It's
home.
like call home if you
Every
can.
day. Every day.
FaceTime.
If it helps you, if that helps you, do it. But don't go home, because when you go home, you're missing a good weekend here to meet people, and like those first connections really happen those first 7 weeks in the care program, but then to also like mingle with like the general student body, those first 6 weeks of your fall semester, that's when all the connections are going to happen. That's where a lot of people are going to make friends. So don't go home. Stay here, tough it out. Recognize like I'm not feeling good, I'm homesick, but like go find things to do. And kind of a big thing to help with that is like take care of yourself from freshman year on. Start exercising, like move in some way that makes you feel good. You don't have to like go to the gym, you don't have to do any of that, but like find some way that makes you feel good, and find what food makes you feel good too, because the dining hall, you can get like 8 plates and they have ice cream and they have dessert at breakfast. Like my mom never allowed that. Like that was not a thing. But like here you can eat what you want and no one's telling you, and your friends don't care. So start caring about yourself and your body, and like finding what makes you feel good, and do that from freshman year on. So that way, like junior, senior year, when the freshman 30 hit, you don't have to like, you don't have to go backwards. You're really just starting strong early on.
Definitely. And I'll add my piece of advice for students as from the admissions counselor side. Make sure you network and go to the career center. Like, don't wait until your senior year. Oh, I'm about to graduate, I need a job. Do that your freshman year. It's okay to go there and say, hey, my name is Terrell, and I'm, just trying to figure out what's going on in here. So they can help you with resumes, they can help you with mock interviews, they can help you say, hey, there's a job fair next month you want to attend, and they can help you with that particular process. So you can get internships, there's volunteer experience you can get, there's externships, so when you graduate, you can have a job waiting for you. So the earlier you go, the better, because they'll know you in that particular department, and they can kind of throw you jobs via email, say, hey, Terrell, there's, this company coming, I think you'd be a good fit. So that will help you in the long run, just basically networking with that particular department on campus.
I love how you talk about family, because I feel like for first generation students, a lot of times your families can be a stressor. And so you have to know how to healthily, is that word? How does it work, right?
Yeah.
Communicate with your family. Seriously, like if it's gonna throw you off your day, if it's gonna knock your energy off, it's gonna make you lose motivation, call every couple of days, call every other week. Like know how to take care of your mental health. Like your mental health is literally what matters at a university, not at a college, a university. University is huge. Take advantage of the counseling center on the second floor of ASKU. So it's just like take advantage of that. It's free. Come through your tuition. So take advantage of those sessions and really take care of yourself. Like your energy is important.
Definitely. So we have 3 questions left. So gonna wrap this up a little bit. Someone asked, how and when can we apply for the scholarship options that the school and CARE provides? Anyone wants to take it? I can take it.
I mean,
So someone asked, basically you're asking like, when can we apply for the scholarship option at the school? Okay. So you can apply as a student. So there's the FS4U portal that you can apply for now. As a student, you can apply for a lateral admission into our honors college. So you have that particular option as well. So you can start applying now. So take advantage because you're an admitted student, and then those scholarships will be able to be used during your time here at Florida State. Someone else chimed in and said, I have social anxiety. So what can be a good way that I can get myself involved and make friends with others?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like, well, I can't talk, but that's what they're like, clubs and organizations. And I think what FSU does really well on their first week is that they have like, I forget what it's called, but they have like a welcome week where every single day they have events going on and times and locations listed. I think one of them on my freshman year was like speed mingling with friends. So like that way you can get to know people really quickly and just get that opportunity. And that's what like we were all saying, like getting involved with something, like whether it's, we have so many different organizations here, over 700, something as simple as hide and seek club. We have a Quidditch club. We have so many, or even get involved with intramurals. So it can be hard, but you know, everyone knows at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of every semester that, you know, it's a lot, it's overwhelming. But personally, I think that FSU has such like a friendly atmosphere, and no one is really going to be like, oh, like, don't talk to me, I don't want to talk to you. You know, everyone's gonna be like, oh, like, hey, especially if you're at a club or a meeting, they're like, oh, what's your name? What brought you here? And that's a really good way to meet people.
I think another thing too is just like keeping in mind that everyone's going to be in the same boat as you. Like everyone's going to feel like they're the only person in this big pond, but just like reaching out and like attending those welcome week things and really getting to know other people will really help you here.
And you have to also be able to just talk to people. Literally, I'm a super extrovert, so I can't relate to you. I'm sorry, but I still get social anxiety. Like I still get that anxiety when I'm talking to new people. But sometimes you literally just have to say, "Hey, I'm Devondrick. How are you?" And the person is not going to be like, "What? Why are you talking to me?" They're like, "Oh, okay. I'm so and so," you know. So just go to Market Wednesdays. Market Wednesdays is always a fun time. You'll see it. I think the summer even will have a couple Market Wednesdays for students to go to, and then just honestly just take advantage of just going into random spaces.
Yeah, when you go into random spaces and like introducing yourself, you would be surprised to know how much you have in common with somebody. So just saying your name and saying your hometown. Oh, I'm from so and so. I know where you live. So that kind of things can kind of ease your social anxiety. So just don't be afraid to just introduce yourself to somebody, because you never know who that person knows or what you guys may have in common. And the last question that we have is, what are some ways to get along with your roommate? That's the great last question to have. So roommate things. So if you have any stories about like ways you got along with your roommate, you guys just have any activities you did, or as well as, you know, why you all were roommates together.
Yeah. Okay. So my biggest thing is don't room with somebody from high school, because so many people are like, oh no, we had so many sleepovers. We slept over each other's houses 5 times a week. That's awesome. But you still had your own spaces to go back to. College is a whole nother ballpark because you're in a new environment. And on top of that, like, you don't know what people are going to be in college because you change who you are. Like, you will be a new person. Like senior year, I would not recognize who I was, like back when I graduated high school. So come in and just meet somebody. I mean, we have FSU class of 2024. Wow. Facebook pages. So join them and just like, hey, what's up? I'm Kara. I'm looking for a roommate in this hall. I'm interested in football and dogs. I don't know, whatever it is. Just post that. You could meet people there or just go random, honestly. And like when I did that, I just like the best part about that is that you can start off as roommates. You're not friends. So you don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I know we're cool already, but like, no, you can lay boundaries and you can be like, hey, listen, I'm big on studying like early in the morning, so I need to wake up early and I need to turn the light on, and that's what works for me. And like I take a nap from 2 to 3 and I need it quiet in here. And you can say those, but with a friend it's a little bit more awkward. So like start those conversations early on. If you need your RA's help, your resident assistant, to like come in and like help you walk through those things. How do I talk about this with somebody? Tell someone that it's annoying when they bring someone over when I'm trying to study at 10 o'clock at night. Your RA can kind of help you navigate those, but like have those conversations and you'll be good to go for the year.
Another helpful thing too is I think it's in like the first week or two of coming in, you'll sit down with your roommate and your suite mates and your RA and like actually sit down with a physical like agreement and like talk about all those things. Like when you wake up, what classes you have, like your rules about other people in the room. That'll really help you communicate, and that's like very cliche, but communication is really key when it comes to like living with someone and making it work.
I was blessed to have a great random roommate. We literally never argue. We just understood one another. It was weird. We just was on the same page, but at the same time, we had a sweet mate that it wasn't the same way. So I feel like it's honestly about communication. I feel like it teaches you how to force yourself to communicate with people, because when you grow up in some families can't communicate. So you grew up your whole life not living how you wanted to live in your own space. So now you have the opportunity to take advantage of that and be respectful at the same time and know how to compromise, because at 10 o'clock at night is kind of early for me in college. So I'm not home at 10 o'clock because I have meetings, everything, studying. And if you have to know if you're going to be a study at home or study in the library kind of person. Because me, I can't study in my physical room. Like I can study in another space, but like I can't study where my bed is. I'm going to go to sleep. So it just know how to communicate for yourself, know how to advocate for yourself.
And another thing I can give my experience with my roommate. So I did have, freshman year I had a random roommate, sophomore year I had somebody I knew. So with somebody you know, like I didn't know him outside of like my freshman year meeting him. So we roomed together my sophomore year. So we made like, not pacts, but like agreements like, oh, I'll bring the refrigerator. You bring the microwave. So you can make that kind of thing with your particular roommates before you come. So if you know your roommate or don't know your roommate, say, hey, I'm bringing my, microwave. Do you have something that you want to bring in the room that we can kind of share? And that kind of helps you kind of get along with them. Just starting, small talk and basically helping them kind of alleviate it, because they may be concerned about their roommate too. So you never know what that small talk may lead. So just basically reaching out to them, because I know when you get your housing assignment, you get their FSU ID as well as their name. And then some students go the extra level and look them up on social media. So that's So in today's tech age, you can look them up on social media, send them a DM or a message on Twitter, and you say, hey, I'm your roommate. What things you want to talk about. This is what I, can't stand. So they kind of set those around before you get here, because you don't want to have any surprises while you're here. So social media is your friend. So take advantage of it, because you will have that resource of who normally your roommate is. So if we don't have any other questions, we thank you all for joining our YouTube live stream. We'll have another one next week. That's for our general population. We're also opening our housing contracts tomorrow, so make sure you're on the lookout for that. Quick tip for housing: they're generated at random. So if you wake up at 7 a.m. or you wake up at 9 a.m., so housing is going to be generated at random. So don't skip school tomorrow. Go to school, and then housing will be generated randomly on the first 2 days, and after that, it'll be on a first come first served basis. If you do have any questions, just feel free to give us a call at 850-645 or 644. I'm sorry, 6200. So that's our admissions line. So if you have any questions about anything, just feel free to reach out to us. We thank you all again, and see you guys next time.